Imagine pulling into your driveway after a grueling shift saving lives from the sky, only to face a clipboard-wielding witch screeching about your unsightly Jeep like it's a war crime. That's how it started for Jack Harlan, a search and rescue chopper mechanic in sunny suburban Ohio, where the lawns are greener than envy and the rules stupider than sin. But oh, the irony. Little did the HOA queen bee know her petty power trip would expose her as the real neighborhood parasite. Jack's Jeep was no showroom queen. It had mud from weekend trails caked on like battle scars. But it sat neatly in his driveway, bothering no one except Brenda Kowalski, the HOA president. Brenda waddled over one afternoon, her double chin quivering under oversized pearls, waving her sacred bylaws like a holy scroll. "Mr. Harlan, this monstrosity violates our aesthetic standards," she huffed, her voice dripping with faux politeness, like arsenic in sweet tea. "We've warned you, it's depreciating property values. Expect a $200 fine." Jack leaned against the hood, wiping grease from his hands. "Bylaws say nothing about driveways, Brenda. As long as it's registered, it's fine," she smirked, adjusting her cat-eye glasses. "As president, I interpret the rules to maintain our community's harmony. Think of the children, they shouldn't see such filth." Jack bit his tongue, watching her sashay away, her floral muumuu flapping like a surrender flag. 3 days later, the fine arrived, stamped with her Smug signature. He appealed, the board, her cronies, a gaggle of retired busybodies who knit doilies and nitpicked lives, denied it faster than a bad date. But Jack wasn't one to roll over. He'd heard the whispers. Brenda's interpretations had hounded folks out before, all in the name of order. He stayed quiet, observing her parade around like a mini dictator, finding flower beds for non-native blooms, while her own yard looked like a botanical crime scene. That's when he hatched the plan. With his commercial pilot license and a Buddy's Robinson chopper on loan, Jack dotted every I and crossed every FAAT. Saturday dawned bright. He lifted off from the local strip and buzzed toward the community lot Brenda had beautified with HOA dues, her crowning glory, complete with a tacky fountain spewing recycled water like her recycled excuses. He hovered, then set down smack between the mailboxes and her prized azaleas. Rotor blades whipped mulch into a brown blizzard, flipping picnic tables and sending her wind chimes into a frantic symphony. Neighbors gawked, kids cheered. Brenda burst from her house, face redder than a stop sign, screaming over the dying whine of the engine. "What in the hell is this outrage?" Jack hopped out, grinning. "Just parking. Brenda. Thought this might fit your aesthetic better than my Jeep. All permits filed, want to check." Her mouth gaped like a fish on dry land. "This is vandalism. I'll have you arrested." Neighbors filmed, snickering at her wind-tossed hairdo resembling a bad toupee. "Legal as apple pie," Jack quipped. "But hey, find me if it depreciates your ego." The backlash was deliciously absurd. Brenda called the cops, ranting about aerial assault, but the sheriff chuckled after verifying Jack's paperwork. "Ma'am, he's in the clear. Maybe focus on real crimes." Undeterred, she slapped a mandatory hearing notice on his door. No quorum, no signatures, just her imperial decree for vehicular and aerial nuisances. Jack dug deeper, hitting the county records like a miner striking gold. Lo and behold, HOA funds funneled to Kowalski Creations, an unlicensed landscaping firm in her name. $25,000 for beautification that looked like overpriced weeds. He consulted a pal in auditing. It screamed conflict, fraud wrapped in community spirit. Brenda's harmony was a solo act siphoning dues for her pocket. The hearing was a farce. Brenda and two yes women at a wobbly table, her face pinched like she'd sucked a lemon. "Sit down, Mr. Harlan. We're addressing your disruptions." Jack stood firm. This sham violates your own charter. No quorum. No notice. She waved it off. Special circumstances for threats to order. He slapped down the docs. Like this? Your fake company billing us for phantom flowers? Unlicensed. Undisclosed. Smells like embezzlement. Her cronies squirmed. One whispered. Brenda. Is this true? She sputtered. Private matters. You're out of line. But Jack had already filed with ethics boards and consumer affairs. Step down. Or face the audit and the DA. The room froze. Her facade cracked like cheap veneer. By morning, an email blasted, Brenda resigning amid personal issues, her puppets fleeing the sinking ship. An interim board called audits. Uncovering her scheme had bilked thousands, even pressuring sales to shady developers tied to her kin. Charges flew. Fraud. Coercion. Brenda cuffed in her muumuu. Her order crumbling into chaos. Jack's Jeep still parks proud. No notes. Just nods from grateful neighbors. The hood feels freer. Rules rewritten with transparency, term limits. But here's the kicker. Was Jack the disruptor? Or just the mirror showing Brenda's ugly truth? You tell me, is a little chaos worth exposing a tyrant? Or should we all just mow our lawns and shut up?